All right, so tonight is about area and perimeter. All right, on your notes, the very first thing you're going to see is there are types of triangles. First of all, a scalene triangle has all the sides of the triangle are different lengths. In an isosceles triangle, 2 of the 3 sides are the same length. And in an equilateral triangle, all 3 sides are the exact same length. Perimeter is the distance around the shape. If you were building a fence around your yard, the perimeter would be the length of the fence. Area is the amount of space inside the boundary. So once you fenced in that yard, if you were laying down sheets of grass, it would be how much grass would need to be put down. If you were laying down carpet in a house, how much carpet would need to be put down. That's the area inside of whatever the boundary of the space is. So some area formulas that you need to know. You need to know a triangle, and that's area equals 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. Your rectangle is your area equals your base times your height. That's the same for a square, just base times height, also known as length times width. Your parallelogram is area equals base times height. Your trapezoid is 1/2, and then you got the 2 different length bases, so you add those together. So 1/2, the sum of those 2 bases, so base 1 plus base 2, times the height. And then the area of a kite is 1/2 the length of one diagonal times the length of the other diagonal. So 1/2 and then the length of the 2 diagonals multiplied together. All right, so the perimeter of the isosceles triangle. If this is an isosceles triangle, this is 17 feet, this is 29 feet. That means that this is also 17 feet. So we have 17 feet over here. So what we get at this point is we get 17 plus 29 equals 63. That is the perimeter of this triangle. All right, find the perimeter of this rectangle. Well, if this is 12, that means this is also 12. If this side's 26, that means that the side opposite that is also 26. So I've got 12 plus 12 plus 26 plus 26, and that equals 76 centimeters. Find the perimeter of this problem. So it gives you lots of numbers, including this length in here, but all you really need is the outside edges. So that is the 2.8, the 6.2, the 2.8, and the 7.9. Add those all up and you get 19.7. Find the area. The area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Base is not always the bottom one. Base is wherever you see the height, it's the side that's making the 90-degree angle with that height. So this is going to be area equals 1/2. Your base is going to be 9 meters. Again, not because it's the bottom, but because it's the side that has the 90-degree angle with the height. And then you're going to put in your height of 6.4. So your area equals 28.8. And it's square meters because you're doing meters times meters. All right, find the area of the square. It's still base times height. So it's 10.8 times 10.8, which is 116.64. Centimeters times centimeters means you're going to end up with centimeters squared. Find the area here. This was the one that was 1/2. And I add my bases together and then multiply that times the height. This is going to be one of my bases. This is going to be my other base. So I'm going to plug those into the formula. This is going to be my height. And you get 1/2, 3 plus 11 times 4.6. Now again, this is in miles. This is in miles, so miles times miles is miles squared. Anytime you're talking about area, you're going to end up with your units squared. Find the area, 1/2 base times height. My area equals 1/2 base times height. The base is not 7, it's 10. So my formula is 1/2, 10 times 4.1, and then it's 20.5 feet squared. Find the area. For a parallelogram, it's still just base times height. Your height, though, is not this slanted line. It's from the top straight straight down to the bottom. So my height is 5.2. My base is 10.5. So 10.5 times 5.2 is 54.6. So this has got to relate to how it happens on the coordinate plane. So when we need to find the area, we know it's 1/2 base times height. So I have to look and find a way to, what's the best way to draw a line to where it creates a 90-degree angle? Well, if I draw this line right here, sorry, it's not straighter. If I draw that line right here, this creates a 90-degree angle. And it's a horizontal line, so I can just count the height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the height of this triangle is 5. My base in that case is just a vertical line, so I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So my base is 4. So 1/2 times 4 times 5. All right, and it gave it to me right there, so it's 10. All right, find the perimeter. We have to use the distance formula with this point and this point to get this length here, which would be the same as that, and the distance formula to do this point to this point. So I need to do my first distance is the square root of, and this is the point -1, 0, and this is the point -3, 2, and this is the point 0, 5. All right, so x sub 2 minus x sub 1, so -1 minus -3 squared plus 0 minus 2 squared. So the square root, and this becomes a plus of 2 squared plus 2 squared is the square root of 8. Right, so the distance along here is square root 8. Then I've got to figure out my other distance. So we're going to say x sub 2 minus x sub 1, so 0 minus -3 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1, 5 minus 2 squared, square root of 3 squared plus 3 squared, which is the square root of 9 plus 9, which is the square root of 18. So the length here is the square root of 18. And let's see if I can erase all that. All right, so I did the square root of 8, which was right here, and the square root of 18. So the square root of 8 plus the square root of 8, those two, square root of 18 plus the square root of 18, stick it all in the calculator and get 14.14. Find the perimeter. Again, you've got to do the distance formula for this one, the distance formula for this side. It's a parallelogram, so these two will be the same. And what you end up with is the square root of 10 plus the square root of 10. And then 5 plus 5, because there's a length of 5. And you stick it in your calculator. And you get 16.32. Find the area. All right, this is going to be area equals base times height. The base is a horizontal line that has a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 5. And then the height, I can pick any horizontal line and go straight up and down and count them. 1, 2, 3. So your height is just 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. And that's it.